Hey, kids, and welcome to our podcast.
Where it's just two girls just talking about being bros. Honestly,
Welcome back. New week, new us. I decided to do it all on my own because I know the lag is immense, because I can hear the difference between me saying it and then hearing Victory coming back with her line, so the reverb is unmatched. Welcome to our podcast. Welcome. I'm Roxanne, and this is Vic.
Hello.
And follow us on
Our journey.
all our socials. That too.
2 Girls
You got
Being
me
Bros
too.
on 2 Girls Being Bros _ on Instagram, 2 Girls Being Bros on Twitter and TikTok, and 2 Girls Being Bros on YouTube. If you're watching us, hello. So make sure you subscribe. If you're listening, you can watch us on YouTube, or you can listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever you feel.
Whatever you want. Honestly, though, when I said it's new week, new us, it really is. It's a new season. Like, not episode-wise, but temperature-wise.
Yeah,
it's now
spring.
officially spring. Spring 2020 has, in fact, sprung.
Guys, I'm so excited. I am someone who I realize my mood is totally based on, like, time of year. Like, as soon as, like, it starts getting, like, light, long after like 5 p.m, like, I start getting so happy. Oh my gosh, like, it just makes me so happy seeing the light late.
Honestly, same. Like, for me, and even, like, during the winter, whenever I was outside, I felt fine. Like, it was kind of like, okay, even though it was cold, it was, like, it was nice to be outside. Mm-hmm. But the second I got inside, I would feel so down, like, low energy, everything, and I'd be like, why am I feeling like this? But then the second started warming up, it was so much nicer to just freaking be alive, be awake, you know? Like, holy smokes,
it makes me so happy.
Different.
What's it called? It's like, the sun gives you, is it endorphins? Is that the right term? I don't know. Is Cetaphil? Not Cetaphil. That's a brand of skincare. You know, serotonin. Serotonin. What is it?
It's serotonin is the happy thing,
okay.
But I don't know if the sun does that. I know that gives you vitamin D, which probably makes you feel good.
What's endorphins then?
But
I feel like people use these terms on
exercise.
TikTok. Oh, okay.
Endorphins is
they all make
exercise
me
when you
happy,
exercise.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if exercising makes me happy per se. That's debatable.
It might not make you happy, but it definitely makes you feel good so that you keep doing it, you know?
Yeah, also debatable, but okay.
Debatable.
We're on the fence with that one.
We're not science here.
No, absolutely not. You know one thing that makes me very happy, Roxanne?
Me?
Music. Oh, and you.
Oh. Thanks.
Speaking
Good
about
answer.
music, what's song of the week? Do you have one
So
prepared?
here's the thing. I understand. No. I am prepared. Don't worry.
Okay.
I just have to address the fact that this is like the first time you actually attempted a transition.
Mm-hmm.
It just barely makes sense, but it's okay.
But
so my song of the
right?
week.
At least I tried. I'm trying. I'm getting better.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
You could do better, but it's not your worst.
Okay.
So my song of the week is probably gonna be "As I Am" by Justin Bieber featuring Khalid.
Ooh.
It's from his new album Justice, which we gotta talk about that. We gotta address that later because apparently there's some poo-poo garbage going on with that. So that's my song of the week. It's so catchy.
Okay, sorry, I continue first. But I did not know he came out with an album. I just thought it was a new single. Oh my god.
No, he dropped the whole album March 19th, so Friday.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
He dropped the music video for Peaches on Friday
Yeah,
too.
I thought it was just,
probably why you thought
I heard of Peaches and I heard of the song Justice. I thought he just released like two singles. Well, I thought Justice was a single because I didn't listen to it yet.
He dropped the whole album.
Oh, I gotta give that a listen.
It's out now.
But actually, speaking of Justin Bieber, oh my god, my song of the week is Peaches. Oh, look at that. It's a Justin Bieber week here. I was scared if you were gonna pick that one, so I had a backup. I'm like, oh, she might pick Peaches, you know? Like, I didn't know he had a full album.
No, I like Peaches. For me, I like Peaches too. As I Am, just something, like, I was listening, I gave the whole album a listen, that one just clicked for me. Like, it was, I think it's more my vibes than Peaches, but I do love Peaches.
Yeah, it was such a
if you haven't checked it out.
You have to.
The music video's, oh my gosh, Giveon. Oh my gosh, guys. If you haven't watched this music video, watch it. Giveon might be the objectively most attractive person I have ever seen in my entire life.
I have Giveon written down on my phone of things we have to talk about this podcast.
No, the truth. I don't think you understand. So like, first of all, Justin Bieber comes on. He's fine. That, you know, like, I'm not gonna lie, he's an attractive guy. The hair, questionable, but he looked fine in this music video. But then, this guy, and I've never heard of him before in my life, and I see that it's like featuring Daniel Caesar. I've heard the name before, and like, obviously I know Justin Bieber, and it was like, it's spelled give on, like one word, but it's pronounced give on. I had to look it up because I was like, gotta put respect on this man's name. So I go, and he comes on, and I was like, excuse me, where's this man been hiding? Like, how...
Literally.
How have I not yet heard of this man? And he just comes on screen, and I was like, oh my gosh, you are literally gorgeous. Like, you're stunning. His side profile, Victory, like, do you know that one clip of the music video?
Yes.
I almost cried. I was like, who gave him the right to be so beautiful?
He is, like, the perfect man. Like, I have not seen someone... I don't want to make this sound offensive to all the guys out there. Like, don't feel insecure about yourselves, but just, like, this man is... so gorgeous. Like, he's like perfection. Like, his skin, just his facial features, his structure, just full package. And the funny thing is,
like,
oh my gosh,
I couldn't take my eyes off him. You know, so like, I was beautiful.
But it's so funny because I didn't watch the music video first. I first listened to just the song on Spotify, right? So I saw like pictures on like, I think I saw like the one picture I think Justin Bieber posted that he was dropping his song, but I didn't stare much into it, right? So I didn't really notice him at first, visually, because I didn't look at it really that much. But I listened to the song, and oh my goodness gracious, when his part came on, like, Justin Bieber, amazing artist, I love his voice, great. Daniel Caesar, really beautiful voice as well, he's really good music too.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of him before too. But Giveon, oh my god, when his part came on the track, I was sitting there like, hold the phone. I had to take a moment there. I was like, his voice, like, not only himself as a human is he beautiful, his voice is like amazing. I was like, I don't even know how to explain how I felt when I heard his voice. I was like, holy smokes, it is so beautiful, so deep. I don't know. He has
a different sound. Like, it's more calming and like not a real pop voice or whatever. Like, kind of like how Justin Bieber, he like his voice is kind of like that, but his voice has something in it, and I was just like, wow, like, it's so unique. And
and I was like who is he? And then I literally straight went to his Spotify. I listened to his I listened to like a bunch of his songs. I'm like obsessed with his voice. It's so beautiful. Heartbreak Anniversary is another shout. That's one of his songs. That's a very, very beautiful. But then I went and watched the music video, and then his appearance just totally matches his voice, and he's just such a perfect human all around. But holy smokes, like, I was like, thank you, Justin Bieber, for introducing me to this guy. But also, he was featured on one of Drake's songs, Chicago Freestyle, which I've listened to before, and I didn't make the connection because it's so beautiful too. But I never thought to like look into it. I haven't listened to it that much. But then I went back and I was like, oh my god, like, oh god.
The first thing I thought of when I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, Victory. Like, I forgot to text you, but I was like Victory is gonna love this man.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm gonna send her this man and be like, listen, I know you're gonna love him.
I'm obsessed.
It's just, wow, he took my breath away. Like,
all around.
But so, and like, the song Peaches is pretty catchy. Like, the first time I listened to it, it's not like the way Sorry was for me, but Sorry's a whole different level for me. So like, Peaches, like, it was like groove, and I was like watching this music video, jamming to the song like all day long. And then on Friday I was like, oh, you know what, like, I'm gonna listen to the whole album.
Yeah,
like,
I want to hear about this.
Through and through. And like, so the album is called Justice. So it's kind of like, okay, I don't really understand what that has to do with because apparently he wrote this is his 6th studio album, and he apparently wrote it for Hailey Bieber.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like, why is it called Justice? Confused. So off the bat. And then so I listened to the first song. The first song is too much, but the intro to the song, I think it's Martin Luther King talking. For like, I think maybe 10 seconds. And then the song goes in, and I'm kind of like, okay. And then like, the music's fine, like, everything's good, like, I like the vibe, like, he has some like mostly like kind of R&B, like chill songs, and then like a little bit of pop here and there. But then there's a, like, I think track number 7 is like the MLK interlude, and it's like from one of his speeches or something, and I just don't understand what that has to do with, if like, because it's like, okay, if you're just trying to do like the album like Justice whatever, and like you're trying to take something along the lines of like the whole social justice movement, okay, but I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be like his like album for Hailey Bieber, or Hailey Baldwin Bieber, so that just kind of threw me off, and like people are kind of like making fun of that, slash like just kind of being like, okay, this is just weird, and I agree, I find that very strange.
Yeah, why didn't he market it as like an album for like social justice? That's kind of like, that's totally fine if you're gonna do that, and it's a really cool concept, and I like that, but like, why aren't you then like promoting it as this is an album for social justice? Like, kind of, do the songs relate? That's the thing, like, are the topics of the songs related to social justice?
No, they're all like essentially love ballads, not like love ballads.
Yeah, but like,
they're all like, it's like too much. So it's like, oh, I can't breathe when I'm not around you. As I am is like, love me.
That's a bit strange. Like, if you're gonna make it towards social justice, that's fine. But then why aren't any of the songs kind of related to those kind of issues, or addressing them?
Like the song Peaches has nothing to do with social justice. So I was kind of like,
and it's not like a bigger picture thing like that. Like some proceeds go to somewhere. Nothing? Like, I
didn't hear anything about that. That's what I hope is going on, because I was like, if you're like, the interlude is literally like its own track in the album, so I think it's like, if you download the album or you buy the album, like I have like, I'm still technically, I'm on Apple Music, so it's like I'm not buying the album, I can just download it. But if someone's like buying the album, I think the interlude is part of it, and I was like, I just feel weird if he is profiting off of that.
That's...
You know, so it's like, I don't, like, I mean, I know it's only one track on an album. I'm just getting weird vibes, and I wanted to address that because it is weird. I don't understand. If someone knows deeper, I'd love to hear what's going on, but, that was just something.
To it yet, or I didn't even really know about it too much. But that's kind of strange if you're, like, it's totally fine to have a concept like that, and like people put excerpts of people's impactful people's speeches in their album. Like, I know Beyonce did that with, was it Maya Angelou? I'm pretty sure she did it in Maya Angelou in what song was it? Flawless? Was it Flawless? Okay, yeah, so she put like an excerpt of Maya Angelou's like speech. Angelou, sorry.
I think it's pronounced.
Maya Angelou's one of her like speeches inside the song. But it like made sense in the context of it, because it's all about like female empowerment, and it made sense, and it was like that. So it can be done easily, and like it can be done well if it makes sense. That to me, it seems a little strange if none of the songs are about social justice, and you're kind of just throwing that in there. Like, wouldn't it make more sense to be about social justice?
Exactly, and if you're literally naming the album Justice, but if it's supposed to be like dedicated to your wife, I'm just a little confused. But I was like, I mean, like, that's for him. Like, he just chose to do that, I guess. So it beats me. But overall, like, I think the album's fine. Just again, like, literally, he released Changes like a year ago, but it was right before the pandemic. He released it February 14th, so it feels like not that long ago. But it's only because from Purpose to Changes, there was like 4 years.
That's true. That's so very true. Damn, wow.
I think that's why it felt like so fast, because like everything, but like before that, he like
a huge break.
Released new music and stuff. So
yeah, damn.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Side note, speaking of this past weekend, so I was just listening to essentially As I Am and Peaches all weekend long. It was beautiful and sunny in Toronto. I don't know about everywhere else, but most places. And I went on my walks naturally, and I burnt my lips. Like, I'm convinced, because I'm putting on chapstick right now.
I guess that is possible, because chapstick, there's SPF chapsticks. Like, how do you burn?
Yeah, but I don't wear chapstick unless, because my lips never get chapped, and they're not chapped. They don't sting. They just feel very dry. So I think it's just like the sun just dried them out, because. Also, like, my face got a little bit like of a tan, even though I was wearing my SPF. So I just think my lips were left out in the open. I don't wear chapstick before preventatively, so
that makes sense.
But yeah,
Fun.
It's just a weird concept for me, like wearing chapstick. I took it and I was like, I'm someone who can leave the house confidently.
Whoa.
I never have chapstick. My lips are fine.
This is where we differ the most as people. There is nothing.
I know. How did you not know this? I
never took
I talk about this all the time. How like I can leave the house confidently without chapstick on my body, essentially every single day.
I can't. If I don't bring my chapstick, I will think about it all day. Like there's been times where I've gone to school, I forgotten my chapstick, and I'll go to Shoppers and buy a new one. Because thankfully I go to school like downtown and there's like Shoppers everywhere. But oh my god, wow, yeah, I never took that in. I can't.
Yeah, it's for me like I'll just, if they do get like a little dry throughout the day, I'll just come home, put it on before I go to bed, and I'll be fine the next morning. But yeah, I've never been someone big who like needed it, so this is new for me. I was like, I went on my walk today and I was like, chapstick it.
I guess.
It up.
I mean, I can probably like live if I didn't. For me, I just can't stop like thinking about it. Like I'd probably like be fine without it, but like it's that like mental thing. Like once you remember, I'm like, oh my god, I need chapstick. I need chapstick. I need chapstick. It bothers me.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, wow.
I hate having stuff on my lips.
Same, except the only thing I can stand is like the Vaseline. Like I hate lipstick with a burning passion. Like lip liner, lipstick, lip gloss, lip plumper, like anything other than like the Vaseline chapstick. Can't stand it. Like I despise it very strongly. I hate lipstick. I hate how it gets all cracky.
It doesn't make sense because chapstick is the most uncomfortable thing because it's like sticky.
That's the only one that I like.
Not a fan.
I'm a fan of Vaseline, the cocoa butter one. But I'm so upset because this weekend was so beautiful and I literally left my house once to go on a walk with like Roxanne and Nadia. That was like the only time I left my house because I literally was writing, like when I tell you all I did this weekend was write an essay, that's all I did. Like I did absolutely nothing else. I kid you not, like when I literally did nothing else, like I did not leave my house. I wore the same outfit 3 days in a row. It's a little bit TMI. Did not take a shower for 3 days. Like I went into like I was like full on essay mode because this is like my major assignment for my essay. And you know what's so funny? Because I was talking to Roxanne and Nadia about this the other day, but it's so funny because like I'm the type of person I cannot write. Like I'm not talking like a little like paragraph like mini assignment like 1 to 2 pages. I'm talking like a 4 to 6 page like big assignment, major paper, right? I cannot write something like that in one night, like the night before. I can, no matter, like I could not physically do that. For me, I'm someone who needs, like honestly, even a week, a minimum a week is like pushing it for me. Like because I just can't work like that. I need to break it up in days. Like literally because my essays due this Wednesday coming and I started like the Thursday, so I had less than a week to do it. And literally I spent Thursday researching, Friday organizing my research, Saturday I did intro paragraph, Sunday I did paragraph 2. Oh no, Saturday, okay, whatever, I moved that back one day, but like I literally split up a paragraph every single, like I can't work like that. And then I know Roxanne, I think Nadia too, were saying like they can write papers the night before. I think even said like the hour before, and I was like, how do you physically do that? How?
Well, okay, no, so for me it's like I don't think I can physically spend a whole week on a science. So what I'll do is like I'll take one day, aka like 20 minutes, writing out what I'm expected to do from the assignment guide, and that'll be like, oh, okay. And that'll take me like 3 hours to do, not because the work is 3 hours, but because it takes me 3 hours to gather the courage to do it for like 10 minutes of work, right? So I'll write that down and I'll be like, wow, I feel so much better. Next day, I'll probably just type in like the subject of the thing, pull up a bunch of tabs, and then just like minimize the whole thing, you know, and that's enough for next day. And then third day, I just kind of like write the whole thing. Tops 2 days. I sometimes can't even reread it because I'm so sick of it, and then I just like submit it. And it's
I don't know, like I respect, like it could never be me. Like I just can't work like that. I can't wrap my brain around like how you can do that, because like I wouldn't be able to. I'd be like 3 days late. Like I just couldn't physically do that in a day.
That's crazy, man. Like literally there's been time like this past like final season I only had papers instead of finals, and I just remember like the way they were spaced out, I literally only had like 1 day to write a paper. So like literally one day I just like sat down and just wrote it out in a couple hours. But like so like I woke up at like 10 a.m. I was like mentally preparing myself until like 8 p.m. And then I started at 8 p.m., finished around like I think it was like 2 or 3, and I was just like submit, and I ended up doing fine, so it's like it works for me.
That's crazy.
But
and the thing is, like, you could probably write it in like 2 hours and it like sounds like decent, as in for me, like I spent 3 days writing mine, and like even I recognize it. Like, you know, there's like a point where like when you write something and you're like, oh, I think it might be good, you know, I don't like know for sure, like, no, I recognize that it's absolute trash. Like, I can't, like, Roxanne was like, I can edit it for you if you want, and I got her to like edit my like conclusion, because I was like, oh, I think my conclusion's like okay, but like the rest I was like, I can't give this to Roxanne. Like, she'll have like a heart attack if she reads this in its like roughest form. Like, I need to edit it myself first, because even I can recognize that it's so bad. But
my favorite part, whenever I edit your stuff, like, I always have to ask you so many questions, not because like it's really bad, but literally because like if I'm editing, like, you'll write a sentence and it's just like your point of that sentence is so ambiguous that I can't even edit it properly because I don't know which direction. Like, you could be taking in this direction, you could be taking in that direction, so I'm always like, hey, like, are you gonna get on the dock? You know, it's like, just to make sure, because otherwise I'll spend enough time like taking in one direction, then she's like, oh, I actually meant to do this, and I was like, okay, good to know, you know, and then I'll like pop this in, and but I like helping out, you know.
It gives you a challenge, you know. It's so funny. Like, I know I've talked about it before, but like, it's so funny because like I feel like when someone else gives me something to edit, like, I actually feel like I'm kind of decent at English and can provide actual good like edits, but like when I write my own, like, I know my mom says like I type like I speak, and we know how I speak if you listen to this podcast. And yeah, like, and the ambiguous point, like, I mean, in this one specifically, it's because I don't really have like a clear thesis, and I kind of just ran with, you know, the broadness, but you know, we move.
But there's a lot, like, the way you're writing is like, you say 50 words to get one sentence out.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be so many times where like I'll edit your stuff and I'm like, okay, like, I'll be like, okay, what are you trying to get across? Like, what is it that I'm supposed to be left with? Versus like, I'm someone who I write the bare bones.
Yeah.
So that's why whenever I write myself, 9 times out of 10, I'll be under the word count. Because I'm someone, when I write, I hit all the main points and kind of like, that's it. I stay away from the fluff.
That's good.
I stay away from like the big words or whatever. I just go for the point. So like that's usually where I lose my marks. It's just like, they're like, oh,
so
like, could use like more academic writing, and I was like, I'm not gonna throw in frivolous words for absolutely no reason.
You should go into business.
Like,
that's what they want.
I hate readings where like they just throw around these big words that like we never really use, even in like, it's like, I'm during my master's, like, we never really use these words while we're discussing stuff, but they'll throw it in the papers and it makes it so stupid. Like, I'll have to Google every like second word. And like, the whole point is that you're supposed to write with terms that are like kind of like shared, but it was just, but I'll never be someone who just throws in frivolous words, you know?
I don't throw in the big words because like my vocabulary is not good, don't worry. But like, it's what another thing, the difference between us is like, I've never been under a word count in my life before. I'm always minimum over a page. Like, I'm that type, like, I'll just keep talking. I never have that issue. I never have had the issue of being under word count. I've only had the issue of being way over word count, because I don't shut up. And I just go on and on and on and on. Like you said, like, I just, yeah. I don't know why, but anyways. You know, we move.
It's so fair.
That's why
that's what a lot of people are. They're like, back in undergrad, like, it's so funny because I come from like a physics background and we don't do a lot of writing, or at least the minimum we do is like lab report, and that's like, everything you say is a fact. You know, you don't even get a chance to throw in your personal opinion. Like, there's no room for that, you know? There's no room for speculation. Like, it's kind of like they say, like, you never risk speculation. If you don't know why something happened, and then all you say is be like, for unknown reasons this happened. You don't get to be like, oh, we don't know why. Like, it could be because of this. Absolutely no room for that. So like, for us, it would always be like just facts, whatever, you know? And then I remember whenever I went to my education minor courses, people would be like, oh, like, I'm like 3 pages over the word count. Like, can we increase the word count? Like, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I was like, I remember one time I had I think it was a 6-page paper due. I think I got to like 3. And I was like sitting there and I was like, so I just like wrote another like 2 pages of like garbage, because like 6 was like the max. It was like 5 to 6, so I was like, okay, 5, submit it. Like, barely got to 5, and I was like, submit that. I was like, not a talker, I only like facts and no fiction here.
Yeah, that's how Roxanne does it. But yeah, no, I'm always like over word count. It's like not even, I'm like, it's not over because like I have so much to say. It's just over because I like don't shut up and I keep repeating the same thing over and over. That's why I need like my 3 days to edit when I have a major assignment. So that's why I need my week. I can't write in a day.
Also, with your writing, at least I feel like you were you throw in a lot of like personal things. Like you'll be like, oh, I think this, and I'll be like, don't get me wrong, I agree, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
what did I send you?
Like sometimes you can
sentence.
Like sometimes they ask for your personal, but not even like there was not even just this time. Like this was more, but this thing like they asked you to pick an artist for something.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to justify why you picked them with facts.
Mm-hmm.
But you threw in one thing. You threw in he was like oh like The Weeknd's one of the biggest artists, and I was like okay, but like
in my opinion,
do you have an article supporting that? Like I'm not arguing he isn't.
Yeah.
It's like do you have.
I think I said it was like one of the most popular one or something, and then I forgot what I said, but then I was like, I knew, I was like, that's a stretch, can I say this? And you were like, can you say this? And I was like, probably not.
But then also there was one thing where I like changed, it was like, oh, like this is why I believe that he's like one of the blah, blah, blah. So it's like you're firmly saying your belief, and you're like, I don't know if I really believe that, and I was like, it doesn't matter, sometimes you gotta you gotta embellish a little, you know? But
yeah.
One piece I remember, it was like you threw in something and I was like, oh, like I was like, oh, I turned it into a fact, and you were like, oh no, that's not a fact, that's my opinion. I was like, well, let's take that out immediately. But it's all fun and games, you know. It's all for fun in the end.
This essay has been an interesting time because I'm taking a music course. I think it's called History of Pop Music, and then basically our major assignment our essay is to pick an artist who we don't talk about in the course, who you think should be talked about in the course. So like included in the pop music canon, it's called, I don't know. And so I kid you not, when I was freaking out over this essay for the longest time because literally every like pop artist that I know, and it can only be in North America, so I couldn't do any like BTS talks or anything. But literally because there's a whole list of people you couldn't talk about, and literally everyone I looked up was on that list. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like I can't, like I think it'd be harder to write about an essay about someone who you don't care about and like you don't really know, right? Because then it's like double the research trying to learn about them and then argue why they should be included, right? But then I finally thought about The Weeknd, didn't put much thought into it, and then kind of realized like halfway through that I didn't really have like a solid thesis to why he should be included, other than that he's just like had an amazing year and he's like broke so many records, and I'm like, okay, but how am I gonna talk about that for 6 pages? So it's kind of a bit of a mess. But we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. But what's really interesting, and it's kind of relevant, but because literally my brain's just been on all about The Weeknd for the past 3 days. The Weeknd the artist, not The Weeknd the days. Gotcha. But also it took me 2 days to figure out I was spelling his name wrong. But anyways, beyond the point. Because I kept looking up articles for The Weeknd spelled with END and nothing was coming, and I'm like, really, there's nothing at all that mentions him. And then I was like, oh, haha, okay.
Oh, that's not it.
Again, why I need a full week to write an essay. Because this would have been me the night before.
That's brutal.
But yeah, it's kind of relevant, is the topic of like award shows and how they're just, okay. So I don't know if you remember this phase in my life, Roxanne, but I used to be obsessed with award shows. Like in high school, like
How could I forget? You used to bully me while I wasn't. Like,
guys, I was literally the worst person ever. And Roxanne was just ahead of the times. She was woke when I was asleep.
Literally.
Like,
no, but like for real though, like take this like also side note, just with all the allegations of like David Dobrik coming up, it's like I'm not like one of those people like I never watched this stuff. It just happened that I never found this stuff. Like I was into Miranda Sings and all this stuff, but like never into him. And then now it's like all these things are coming up, and Victor's like,
yeah, that's literally, it's like I'm freaking cursed, because literally every YouTuber I like watch ends up having some huge scandal. Like literally Shane Dawson, James Charles, David Dobrik now, like Jeffree Star I watched back, but I mean we all knew he was problematic. Trisha Paytas is an interesting case, but I used to crazy watch her in high school, and she's problematic, kind of. She has good points now, relevant points, but she still has done some questionable things in the past, so you know.
Yeah, like she's still
But, like, literally
she's
just
due some accountability that she has to take on still, I think.
Yeah.
For some things that she did.
Some things she's done, yeah. But like literally everyone I watch literally has some kind of scandal. And Roxanne, like, it's not that she doesn't even, like, she didn't like the people at the time. She just didn't watch them. And like she's been new. Like how did you like subconsciously know? You know?
And it's funny because literally the one thing that I watched, I saw like I watched a little bit of James Charles and Jeffree Star too. Like at one point, because like I know you like them, so I was like, oh, okay, like I'll give him a shot. And I remember like Jeffree Star, like I kind of watched his stuff, like I was a little bit like he was very out there, but I was like whatever. But with James Charles, I just got like weird vibes from him, and then like that whole like Tati scandal came out, whatever. But still, I was like, okay, like I got that he was innocent, but still after that, I was just like, okay, like I was just getting weird vibes, and that just kind of solidified for me. And then I watched one more video of his with Jojo Siwa, and I was like, hey, weird vibes from him. So I ended up like really just like stopping, not like for anything malicious. I'm never someone who's like, oh my gosh, like I hate him. Just get weird vibes from him.
Yeah.
And then I watched very recently the thing with David Dobrik and the D'Amelio sisters, and just I was like thinking about this, like he was gonna prank them by having a guy come in and like fake attack them to see like what their security would do or something, and then like also have like someone get fake shot, like the attacker get fake shot, something like that. And I was just like, this is just so weird. Like, and it's like I'm not someone who's like, I don't think pranks are bad, like I like gags just for laughs, like I think they do good pranks, you know, like, but I was just like, I don't feel like that's a real prank in the sense of like that could scare people. Like
that's
I
too
was on my
far,
walk today, and a guy ran. Yeah, and I was like, two young females who probably get harassed by the media constantly, like that's not the call. Like literally today I literally had a heart attack because the guy was like jogging, and like I just got I was like, I feel like someone's behind me, and I turned around and he like ran right by me. I was like, I got so scared. So it's like, I'm just a jumpy person. If that happened to me, like I'd be like, now you want me to sit down and be on your podcast? Like like I'm good, thanks.
It's so weird, and it's just like, like you watch the things in the moment and like you don't think twice about them, you know. It's not until someone brings attention and you just like go back and you think and you're like, oh my goodness. And I just like with everything going on, I'm like I don't have the energy and time. I'm like, okay, I totally agree, like just unfollow. I'm not gonna think about it. We like not support it, done. But like I was just like, wow, like literally every person I watch turns into this somehow. But yeah, back to the award shows thing. So like I used to be so obsessed with award shows, and just like I think I went through like the whole phase, like a huge phase in my life where I was just really obsessed with like celebrities and like not idolizing, kind of being, I guess, like the stan. I guess now the term is like I was a stan back in the day. Stan account.
I hate the term stan.
I know,
like,
me too.
I don't get it. Like, where's it come from?
I know, it just like resurfaced. I guess I don't even, because I guess I think it's just another term for fangirl, but it's now like the not Gen Z, whatever the generation now is. To me, it's like instead of saying fangirl, you say like stan. That's like back in like our days, it was called fangirl. Now it's like a stan. Kind of, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong out there, but you know, I was so obsessed with like all these award shows and everything, and I would always watch them. I'd always be live tweeting. Until finally, like I started making the realization, I think it was like in grade 12 was when I started realizing like, why am I idolizing all these people? I.e. the Janoskians. That was a really dark time in my life, but we're gonna not bring that up again. So I started like making the realization that like all these award shows are just such scams and are just so freaking fake. Like they're literally like all the like smaller ones, like I'll get to the Grammys in a second because this is what my main point was, but like all like the smaller ones, they're literally just based upon like who's the most popular right now, who's gonna get the most views, whoever can show up will give an award. If they're not there, we're not gonna give them an award even if they're more deserving of it, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Like whose fan base will make the most noise, you know, like
kind of those things. And I started realizing this, and I was like, they're just such a scam, and it like bleeds into the big ones too, like the Grammys, Oscars, blah 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 blah. And the reason I'm saying this is like I want to talk about the Grammys for a second. The Grammys happened. Oh my God, it's the end of March, so now it's like almost 2 months ago. Oh no, it was a month ago because it's the beginning of March, I think. The Grammys. It was like 2 weeks ago or 3. Yeah.
It was the second week. It was
supposed to be February, but oh really? Oh my god, I
Yeah.
time isn't real. That's true. Yeah. It was like 2 weeks ago. I don't know what I'm saying. It was originally supposed to be in February. That's why I was like 2 months ago, but then they moved it. So the Grammys was recently. There's a lot of things to say. So like I said, I did my essay on the weekend, and as I don't know if you know, but he didn't get a single Grammy nomination, which is insane. Just purely because like, okay, I have so much things to say. Like, what are these awards based on? Like, how do people get nominated, right? For these things? Like, what's it based on? If The Weeknd, he literally had the second most listened to album in the world after Bad Bunny last year, and Blinding Lights is the most streamed song on Spotify. How did this man not get nominated for one Grammy Award? Someone out there explain that to me. What is it based on, you know? Like, clearly it's not, maybe they're not saying it's not based on stats, it's based on creativity, but how can someone judge someone's, like, creativity, you know what I'm saying? It's so stupid. Is it not? Like, and then, like, who's controlling it? Is it just, like, a group of, like, a couple white men who own, like, the freaking Grammys that are, like, deciding what's the best music in the world? Like, isn't the concept so stupid?
The money. Yeah. And it's, like, the thing that shocked me, too, was, like, if you really think about it, like, and this is absolutely no hate to Taylor Swift. I'm absolutely not, this is no personal thing. For her to get Record of the Year is a little bit shocking to me, only because I didn't hear a single one of those songs this year at all.
I've never heard it.
So it's like
it
if she has a big fan base, I understand.
It's bad, but like,
yeah, I'm just shocked that, because it's like, okay, like, I didn't even know she came out with a new album. So it's like, to what extent are we measure, like, you know, it's just like kind of like set up this measuring thing, because it's like,
it doesn't make, it's not fair.
No way that someone can get a record
of
the, you can't get like a Record of the Year when half the population even noticed the record came out. I just don't.
Exactly.
I'm shocked.
Like who on this earth hasn't heard of the song Blinding Lights, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who hasn't heard of it? Why? How did he? Like, it just blows my mind. Like, what is it based on? How are they winning? You know what I'm saying? Is it based on streams? Is it based on numbers? Is it based on, like, I don't know, someone's opinion of what the best R&B album of the year is? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a group. I'm pretty sure I saw on Twitter, like, it's just like a certain group that decides, like a group of couple of men, or there's probably women, and there's probably a little bit diverse now, hopefully, but like, it's just this group of people deciding what the best music is. And you know what's, and like, there's so many issues and like scandals with the Grammys that I've been like reading about because of you know, the essay that I'm writing. And I think there's like this stat that only like 10, oh shoot, I don't want to mess it up, I'll put it on screen, but I'm pretty sure it was only, I wasn't sure if it was, I think it was only 10 people of color, or it might have been just black artists. Only 10 black artists in like the past 60 years. In the past 60 years, 10 have only gotten like the best, the biggest category. What's the best category? I think it was like the biggest album of the year. Because mainly, I was reading about this, that all the black artists, they get thrown kind of into like, they used to, literally, they only changed their urban category in 2020 when Tyler, the Creator, like called them out because he won, I think, best urban, or I don't know if, I feel so stupid with all my facts wrong, because they're all in my head because I've read them all, but he won, I think he won like the urban one, he won a category, or I think he got best rap album, and his album wasn't rap, it was like a, like, you know, a different genre, but he kind of got thrown in to that category because of his race, you know what I'm saying? Or like, they're not gonna admit that, but and then Tyler, the Creator, basically called them out, being like, you know, people that look like me, we get thrown in these urban categories even if our work isn't that style, you know? So they've had so much controversy in the past, and they literally only changed like the term urban, which, like, you know, it's like, I was reading all about it, and it kind of just like pigeonholes like black artists into like that category when like they make music that totally is like can be in other categories, right? And they only changed that last year to contemporary. They changed it to progressive R&B now is the name, but like they're so problematic, like, in general, and they're so stupid. And like, I know, because this is another, sorry, I have so much to talk about, just interrupt me if I'm going on. No, but because another thing that happened was BTS. We all know BTS, right? One of the biggest boy bands in the world currently, you know. this is the first time they've ever got nominated. They got nominated for Best Duo or Group Performance, I believe was the category name, for Dynamite. And they didn't win. Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga, Rain on Me won, which, you know, I love Ariana Grande. You know, Lady Gaga, great artist as well. The song was a bop. But if we're comparing it numbers-wise, it's Dynamite smashed it out of the park. If we're comparing it, the category was called Performance. Rain on Me was performed, I think, 3 times total. They performed Dynamite like 1 million times, you know? So it's, again, what are we like giving the, like, I'm not saying that it's not deserving Rain on Me. Like, it was a good song, you know? I'm not saying that, but like, what are we
it's just like,
basing
what
the
is
awards on?
the measuring?
Like, what is the measuring system? What is the thing? And then one thing that pissed me off, you know, I think it's great that BTS is finally getting recognized. Like, this is the first time, I'm pretty sure, that any K-pop has been nominated in, like, I don't know, they might have a small category for, because, like, also another thing with the Grammys is, like, how is barely any music that's not English getting nominated for categories too? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it just a Western award show? Like,
I think it is, yeah.
Is it only Western? Because, like, now now it's like they're nominating, like, a bunch of Spanish artists and BTS things, so, like, they've never had, like, world recognition.
I think it's probably Spanish artists that are signed with,
or I guess
like, American record, because they're not, like, there's, like, Bollywood artists that are freaking smashing it out, like, but it's like, there's just no section. I'm pretty sure
they have international awards too, but they don't air those ones.
But it's probably people who, like, it's like, for example, like, what's it called? Like, people who have connections to America versus, like Canadian artists, they probably still are, like, they're not, like, it's like, if you're only in Canada, you're probably not going to get nominated, but if you're, like, for example, like, Shawn Mendes or, like, Justin Bieber, where it's, like, you're signed in America, then you're game.
It's confusing, so I don't really know. But anyways, so BTS got nominated, right? And, like, this is the first time that, like, I think any, like, K-pop group really got recognized, and, like, I think it's really nice that they're finally getting recognition based, because, like, they're doing bids in America. Like, it's not just, they're not, like, not present in America, so, like, it makes sense they're not getting recognized. Like, the numbers and fans that they have in America is insane, right? Yeah. So that's, like, the thing is, like, why are they never recognized at any award shows? Because they have such a huge fan base and following in America. That was, like, the whole thing. Right, so they finally got nominated for an award. They didn't win. Okay, fine. Like, even if you think they're deserving or not, I think they deserved it. But anyways, regardless of the fact, so they also performed at the Grammys, right? But they announced that they lost the award right at the beginning of, like, the Grammys. Like, they presented that one early. They were the last ones to perform at the Grammys. And to me, that was just like a, I don't want to discredit BTS's performance, because it was absolutely amazing, and I love them so much, and I'm not saying anything, like, and I'm, like, I don't want to, like, ruin their thunder, because they're probably so excited that they got to perform at the Grammys, because it was the first time too that K-pop, they, like, solo got to perform, right? But, like, to me, it just felt like the Grammys, like, they announced it at the beginning, they didn't win, but then they just put them last to keep, because there's obviously, like, millions of people watching just for BTS, you know what I'm saying? They just kept it to keep the viewership up the whole time, you know what I'm saying?
And apparently they kept advertising, like, oh, up next BTS as though they were the next performer, so everyone was like, okay, they're going to be the next one, and they kept doing it instead of, like, you know, instead of insinuating, like, oh, these are the performers for tonight, they kept insinuating as though it's like they're the next one, so it's like, okay, hold on tight for the next one, and I've heard about that.
They were just using it.
It's all a
like,
scam.
It's all it is. That's what I'm saying. That's the main point of this, like, whole segment, is that they're all a scam. And I hope that BTS knows that they don't need some stupid award show to let them to tell them that their music is good, because their music is amazing and appreciated by so many people around the world. They don't need an Oscar. They don't need like, Oscars are another thing. They don't need a Grammy to, you know, tell them that, and I hope that they know that. But I just really pissed me off how they did that, how they put them last and they kept freaking promoting it. I'm like, you're totally just using the fan base, like, you like, and then that just kind of put, like, a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm like, did you even nominate them because you felt that they were deserving, or did you just nominate them to get more viewership and thing? Like, I think they deserve the award, like, don't get me wrong, they obviously did deserve an award and they deserve the nomination, but, like, I felt like, what was the Grammys' intention behind that, you know? Ulterior motive. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, if the Grammys were real, you know, BTS Love Yourself album would have been nominated a long time ago. Their Young Forever nominated a long time ago. Obviously, they're not real, so... But, like, literally, like, the Weeknd, too, he was saying, because I read all this stuff, that, like, it's just a bunch of committees. And if you know, like, if you have connections with people in those committees, like, that's who's...
Yeah.
You know?
Zayn called them out, too. He was like, it's like, he was like, oh, if I would have known that, like, you have to give favors in order to get the thing or whatever, like, I'll make sure to send a basket next year, you know? Like,
yeah.
And I get that, like, okay, maybe Zayn hasn't recently... Like, he released a new album, and, like, I never really heard anything from it. But, for example, like, Pillow Talk... what else? Like, he's had some... Dusk Till Dawn was a huge trend on TikTok. Like, it was like... But also even now, like, I've heard more of it now than I did before. So it's kind of like, to what extent that it's like...
It just...
He's had some bangers, and he also didn't get recognized for those either. So it's like, so... What do you guys measure? You know, it's literally it's like, what do you guys do? So,
like, I know it feels great to win an award and, you know, get recognized for something by, like, get your work recognized. Like, it does feel good, but, like, I don't know, they're just such, like, scams, and they're just so, like, fake that it's, like, totally discrediting them. And I don't know, it's like, like, the thing is, like, how do you measure? Like, there's no continuity in how we're giving awards, how they're being measured, you know?
Yeah. So it's just like the whole thing. I feel like artists are probably getting sick and tired of it.
Yeah. And well, like, you can tell now. Like, The Weeknd's never going to Grammy again. Kanye West peed in his Grammy the year ago. Did you see that?
No.
He won a Grammy, and then back in, I think it was like 2 years ago, he put it in the toilet and just peed on top of it and took a video and posted it on Twitter. So...
Damn.
I mean, that's a little extra, but, like, you know, that's what's
but the gist,
the vibe,
the gist is making sense, you know. So, damn,
that's my little rant on the Grammys. Just I've been reading about that pretty much the whole past 3 days, and it just blows my mind how The Weeknd, like, how can you justify The Weeknd didn't get one? Not like this. Besides the wins, whatever. How did he not even get nominated for anything with pulling those numbers? You know. That makes
and literally,
no sense.
He was the Super Bowl halftime performer. So it's like, you can't argue that this guy isn't talented. You can't argue that he doesn't deserve an award. It's literally like, this man has been so well known that, like, he literally got the Super Bowl halftime performance this year.
Yeah.
But he's not even nominated?
It makes no sense. It truly
I don't know about that.
And I think I was reading in, like, one of my articles too that he was, like, apparently, like, there's talks of him performing at the Grammys, and, like, obviously that got canceled too. And I'm like, so, like, did you whatever. It's just, they're all just such a scam. Like, why are we letting, like, one group of people control what we determine as good music? Just in general too. Like, why are we, like, the public's not voting on it, so literally it's like, who's deciding? You know? Yeah. Like, if you're gonna do an award,
even if the public voted, it would still be a popularity contest.
Exactly.
You know, it's not about.
Yeah. So just award shows are stupid in general. That's the gist of it.
Like, it's like, if they want to continue, they're gonna have to step up their game to actually try to do something good. If not, it's just gonna die off. Like, a lot of every year the viewership is, like, dying off. So it's like, it's either gonna stop, or they're gonna have to fix it to an extent where it's semi-acceptable. You know, like, start looking at it objectively in some sense, rather than just popularity contests.
Just, like,
but
the whole, like, this is more of the Oscars. My last point on this, because everyone's probably like, shut up. But no, we're speaking truths. But in, like, the Oscars, you know how they've had so many, like, diversity problems, like, all, like, their scandals. It's like, that to me too, it's like, you're telling me that, like, only 6 white actresses or actors had the best performance of the year, or, like, 5 out of 6. Like, what? Like,
well, I can only see that because, in the sense that, like, there's so few main black characters being portrayed in the media. That's
then that goes further. Yeah.
That's
so
a whole different problem.
Problem in the industry.
When there literally is people who are deserving, like, that's a whole different story. But like, one thing is, like, it's so sad because apparently they either, I don't know if they implemented it officially or they're trying to, but a third of your cast and crew has to be, I think, like, they're like putting limits on diversity in order for you to be nominated. And I understand what they're trying to achieve. The only issue is, like,
but there shouldn't be a limit in general.
Like, if you're literally, it's like, but it's like, I acknowledge that there's a problem that clearly you have. If you're putting limits on it like this, you have a problem. They're not accepting that there's a problem going on. They're just pretending like, okay, we're gonna solve it by this. But it's like,
And
literally accept that you have a problem.
exactly, you can't say that you can't find diverse people to cast. Like, you can't say that. We live in a world, how many billion of freaking people are in this world, and you're telling me, oh, I can't find enough diverse actors, I can't find enough diverse crew. No, like, that's not an excuse.
Like, for example, you know what really gets me on Riverdale? Four actors who are part of the LGBTQ community, 4 characters, sorry, zero IRL actors part of the LGBTQ community. I was like, you really don't think you could have found
like,
one actor? That shocks me, and I have no like, it's kind of like, I don't, it's like, oh, gay actors play straight characters or something. Okay, fine, I understand, but I was like, it's about representation.
Yeah.
And it's like, you really don't have a single member of it on your cast. I don't know. I just find that very strange too.
It's the whole industry. There's like so many. It's like so deeply rooted. Like too. That's like in my music class. Like that's what we learn. We've literally been learning like the whole course. Like just how like literally just like racism and like inequality is just like embedded in like in like the foundations of the system. Like in the system that like it's like set up for failure. So it's like there is like improvements obviously now, but like there's still so much wrong. But yeah, like the industries are just, I don't know, there's a lot of problematic issues, but at least there's attention on it now, and there's acts for change, which is nice to see, and we keep going that way. But yeah, that was our industry Grammy.
I love how it's like we don't really have any knowledge on this, but I mean, I think it's getting to a point where it's like even people who don't know much about it can see what's going on.
Like if you can recognize the problem and you don't.
Yeah, I don't need stats to tell me that something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like it's like, oh well, actually, if you look at the stats, like it's beyond statistics. It's internal. It's like there's a problem with people, but I love we just go off on it. I know. I also never addressed the fact that I'm. Oh yeah. Like I forgot to address the fact that I'm dressed like this in honor of spring. I mentioned that it was springtime, but I just failed to mention that this is what
I'm so excited.
How I'm like. So
my spring clothes.
Get ready for summer content. Unfortunately.
Oh guys.
I can't even bring myself to say it, but unfortunately, Toronto might be going back into worse lockdown than we were before. So Roxanne's Beauty might be postponed again. We will do our best. I'm trying to think of a way we can get around this. Try to give you guys some sort of some tidbit of it, because I realize it's been like half a year. Like what, November, December, January, February, March. It's coming up on
but it's like nothing we can do. Like guys, we want to film it, but we literally can't.
And especially some like the people like in line, like just their families are pretty high risk. Like there's people in their family that's like high risk, so it's like you can't even be like, it's like no, like it's not happening. Okay, it's like the rules say no, we're doing no.
I was gonna say maybe I know, because like I know the next person we have in line is Nastya, and she wants a hair dye, so that's gonna have to wait till we can literally film indoors. But if there's someone else, we can maybe do one if the weather allows outdoors, who's just a trim. But it's, guys, we're working with what we got. We'll have to see. We'll have to take it day by day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we want to. Don't worry. We literally get questions like once a week. We want to. Don't worry. Like we really want to. We just literally can't. Like it's beyond our control.
Yeah. So hang in there, folks. We'll get to you soon enough, as soon as physically possible.
We are doing what we can,
Well, so until in the meantime, we're gonna try to do some outdoor content. We'll see what we have coming up. Hopefully the weather stays this warm. Sorry, what?
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I was gonna say, just speaking about like doing outdoor content, our last video we posted. Should we like do this every week? Should we give like a little behind the scenes of like our video we posted? Like a little, maybe like
sure,
some
but I feel how much more behind
tidbits?
The scenes is there?
I just want to talk about how that bike ride was the worst time of my life, and the video does not do it justice to the pain I was feeling. Guys,
I could see that.
So in our most recent video, if you haven't seen it, go watch that. Take a little break from the podcast, go give that a little watch, come back, listen to our thoughts now. But so we went to the High Park Zoo, and the zoo is closed. Sorry to everyone who was wanting a zoo content. Again, beyond our control.
Hopefully soon,
yeah. And so we ended up, you know, going on a little adventure, and then we ended up going, renting the city bikes and going on a little bike ride. Lo and behold, you know, we biked one direction, east. And, you know, it was a fun time. I was like, wow, this is great. This is so easy. Why am I not like as tired as I expected I would be? Like we literally went pretty freaking far. Like I don't know how many kilometers that is, but it was a couple.
Yeah.
Because there's at least, if you're from Toronto, it was literally High Park to like the exhibition, not exhibition, what's that? Like right before Ontario Place.
The OVO Center. Like we were like across the street from the OVO Center.
Yeah, medieval times area. So that's literally that's like the back of the CME or this whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so like we went pretty far, and I found it pretty easy. I was like, wow, this is so much fun. This is doing good. Literally, we have to go back. We filmed the video, we filmed the clip, and then we're like, okay, let's go back. We have 15 minutes to get back to our original spot because we had a half an hour time slot. I don't think we mentioned that in the video, or we didn't say how much time we had, but so we had like 15 minutes to get back, and I was like, this is no problem. We flew here in literally 10 minutes because we spent like 10 minutes. We spent like 5 minutes standing there, like recording clips, taking an Instagram thing because we thought we'd have so much time to get back because we were like so easy.
Exactly.
I kid you not. The first pedal. So Roxanne went ahead of me because it took me a minute to like turn my bike around and like get like settled. Literally the first 2 pedals, it felt like my bike was like in like quicksand, and like I was like going like trying to push it, and it was going nowhere, and I was like, what the heck? Like, why am I just tired? Like I was literally like, did I switch the gear? So I was like looking at my gear, I'm like, did I touch something? I was like, what the heck? And I just start pushing, and it's like barely going. Like I feel like I'm not even moving, and Roxanne's like down already, like 20 meters ahead of me, and I'm like, what the heck?
That's the one thing that we didn't get on camera, because I know it was really bad with the wind, like because I was literally like, because I was holding the camera with my hand, and I was like, I don't know if the wind, like I wasn't driving fast enough to like maintain like a steady thing, because also this girl was 18 years behind me, so I was going slower than I could have went way faster, but I was like, okay, I don't want to ditch this girl completely. I remember turning around and there was someone between us, and that person was like 4 meters behind me, and then I was like, and then she's another 8 years behind me, and I was just like dying of laughter. I felt so bad though. Like
literally the first like 4 hours I was like trying to figure out what was going wrong, and then it hit me that the wind was just like barricade, like coming like the direction, like I'm sorry, against. So like I was going this way, the wind was coming that way, right? And it was just like whipping me in like the face, and I was like, oh my god, and it hit me, and I was like, we're going against the wind. On the way here, the wind was basically pushing us, and guys, you heard how strong the wind was in some of those clips. Like it was no joke. It was insane, and like instantly, like those first 4 steps when I was like trying to figure out what was going on, and then I realized literally instantly I felt it. Like I was like, no, I was like, this is it. I kid you not, I think it was only that little path, like right then and there, I was like dying, guys. In my chest, because it was partially because it was freaking windy and cold, so like, you know, when your chest gets cold, I wasn't dressed properly, that's again my fault, whatever, but like my chest hurt so freaking bad. Like it hurt to breathe. I could no longer breathe through my nose because it just was like running and stuff, so I had to breathe through my mouth. My chest would hurt so bad because it was so cold. I couldn't breathe. My legs were in pain. Like I was in a state, like I couldn't even, like I was like, oh, this would be great if I filmed it, but then I literally was like, I don't care, I cannot film this, I might actually pass out. Roxanne was so ahead, and I was like, in my head I was like, if I pass out, like I can't even yell to her, she's not gonna notice that I like fell on the freaking sidewalk. And
I turned around a couple times. I was thinking on you. You probably
I know, thank God.
But like I was like, because like my hood was up, so I was like
oh, she's gonna be 20 meters. I'm like, I can't. I literally did not have the lung capacity or energy to yell. Like when we came, because the one we stopped at literally only passed 2 bike stations, so we passed one and then we parked in the second one, you know, like where you can, I don't know what they're called, stations. So the first one we got to, you were just so far ahead of me, but I wanted to stop there. I was like, please look back so I can be like, let's stop here, because I also didn't know the time, so I was like, if we have 2 minutes to get to the next one, I'm not gonna make it, which I'm probably sure you would have figured that one out by then.
No, but we had enough time. That's why I thought we were gonna keep going.
Okay. I was like this close to telling you to cut it off, because I was like, I also was dying. And it was so funny because there was like literally there'd be like the 3-second gaps where there was no wind if you were lucky. When those 3-second gaps hit, I was like, boom, 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 boom. I pedaled as fast as I could because I knew like that was gonna be the easiest time and I was gonna die in like 3. It was so sad, guys. Like it was the saddest thing. If you were beside me, I was gonna cry. Like my chest hurt so bad. Even going downhill, like you could cruise, but like it still was like I'd rather go uphill, guys. It was awful, but we made it. But I just wanted to reiterate. Because we didn't film that for obvious reasons, both of us. But I just wanted to reiterate how awful that experience was for me, because the video I don't think does it justice. Like I was literally in so much pain. Like I could not explain.
And my favorite part too was so once we put the bikes down, like for me it was kind of like while I was going, it was painful, but getting off the bike, my legs felt so weird. And then now it's like means like we're longer in the wind, you know. So for me, I was kind of like trying to power through, because like, hey, the faster we drive with this bike, the shorter we have to be in the wind. And I kid you not, as we were walking, I was like, my legs feel like cement. And it got funny because there's the part, so we were walking for a while and like we were both just exhausted, like we didn't film a lot. It was after the part where we made it into the tunnel and I started echoing. And then I like that one, I was like breaking down, like I was on the verge of tears, like in that one clip where I was like, I'm about to cry. You can see I was like, that was me about to cry, because I was exhausted. And then I at that moment I also remembered, I was like, I still have things to do today. But the highlight of that was that right after that clip we stood at a light and we didn't press the button.
No.
And so we were just standing there for like 3 minutes. Like we didn't even notice that the cars were going the direction that we needed to go in order to cross the street. But since we didn't press the button, it didn't go. And this woman was standing near us and she was like, oh, like, can we go? And we were like, oh no, the hand says no. So like I guess it's like a right turn signal or left turn signal, whatever. And then like she was like, oh, okay. So she stood there and like these lights were taking forever. And I was like, Victory, we didn't press the button. Like that's why it took forever. And that's why the hand was red, not because there's a turn, but literally because we didn't press the button.
We didn't press it.
So we were like, oh my gosh.
For the next one.
But here's the thing. So we waited there and then we turned and like, because we essentially had to make we had to go both ways anyways. And I was like, Victory, I just turned to her, I was like, we can just cross here. And she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay. I was like, we have time. So we like walk across, and literally that woman was probably so confused because she saw us standing there for literally 5 minutes. Yeah. And then we just crossed the road, and she was like, what? And then like I got a call as we were going up a hill, and like this person they were speaking so fast, I didn't know what they wanted from me. They like said they were from some company. I was like, hey, is it a company that I'm with and there's a problem and you need me to help you solve it, or are you trying to sell me something? And I asked her, I was like, are you trying to sell me? I was like, I'm not interested. And she was like, no, I just need a couple of minutes. And I was like, I don't understand what you're telling me. Like just like the general, I was like, are you selling me something? Is there a problem with my account? So I just like kind of hung up on her in the end, because I was like, you're not making yourself clear. I was like, if it's important, she'll call back. Yeah. It was just such a mess. It was hilarious because we were just so exhausted after.
That's literally a day in our lives though. But just another side note, like when we were driving back on the bikes, like that wasn't just me like taking breaks. Like I didn't stop. That was me trying my hardest. That was as fast as I could go. That was as fast as my body was allowing. Like I wasn't like going slow on purpose. That was physically the only thing I was capable of in that scenario. Like, which is crazy. But you know, I was really proud of myself for getting through it. Like
it was
strength
awful. Isn't your thing, so
no, absolutely not.
So I can't blame.
But yeah, that was a little behind the scenes in that video. For you guys.
Hopefully
you enjoyed our pain.
We won't have to bike in the wind anytime soon.
But yeah,
I guess.
Is there any last thoughts on your mind? Any words of wisdom to get everyone through the week?
Words of wisdom: hang in there, buddy. We'll get there one day.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
I second that. But yeah, guys, it's been a fun episode today. We, discussed a lot of things, had a lot of fun talks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments on anything we discussed today, at all.
Exactly, and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to us, please. We're so close to 200 subs.
Literally,
it's gonna be really cool.
I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not gonna jinx anything.
She jinxed it, so please help us break the jinx. If you want more Roxanne's Beauty Saloon, hang in there. It's coming. Please don't unsubscribe. We promise it is coming. Just hold your horses, and there's some surprises coming too. So hang in there. Stay tuned.
It's gonna be fun. Trust us.
But yeah.
And remember, kids,
Don't do too much.